get this started. Waiting for YouTube to do its thing, and there we go. Alright, so I'm just going to wait here a few minutes, wait for a couple people to show up, and we can go from there. I don't see the use in talking if nobody has shown up yet, so I'll be paying attention to the chat. If you're on the chat, just say hello. If I know who you are, I'll just be like, hey, whoever, but I'm just going to wait for a few people to show up, so let's leave it at that for now. Probably be done with this about 2 o'clock. We'll wait and see how it goes if I get anyone showing up. The sooner people show up, the sooner I'll be done. So, yeah, I'll just be waiting here. Oh, and by the way, I find this funny. I planned on starting this the April 1st, and April Fool's Day joke. It's not starting till the 13th, so everything seems to be working on my end, so that's good. Let's see, let me work on a few other things to try and get people here. And like I said, this isn't going to be the best video out there, just because, I tried testing this out before, and, well, let's just say I did a lot better using Audacity than this. Because I can't stand looking at myself right now. I don't know, it's just a weird thing I have, so. Alrighty. Stream settings. Let's see if this works. Please do. Why does that do that? Oh, that's why. And yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. Come on. Move the trash. Since that's not working. There we go, that's what I want. Sometimes I love this computer, sometimes I hate it. There we go, that's what I want. Sometimes I love this computer, sometimes I... Okay, so that works. Cool. Might as well put that on the group as well. Now, let's see what we got in news. NASCAR news, that is. Let's see if oh, this is weird. There's one website I check out for racing reading material, and it doesn't work at one place. And the perks of living 2 blocks down from the fire department. Don't know if you can hear that or not, but good thing I'm not talking now. See if it's picking this up. But yeah, prior to the fire whistle, there's this pretty cool website. If you're into, like I am, reading about racing, there's even videos and stuff, various racing movies. I'd give it a check it out. It's pretty cool. Some of my ideas actually came from books that I got off this website. So it's not like an Amazon or whatever. I think he's based up in Massachusetts. I'll put the link here. But yeah, I like a lot of the stuff I have on there, and I've noticed with some of the books that he put on recently that if a book's like, say, released March 1st, he might not have it for a week or two. But I mean, if you want to support a local business compared to an Amazon or whatever, yeah, I'm guilty of using Amazon a lot. 2-day shipping is very appealing. But I like to try and help out small business when I can, and like I said, this website, regardless of it's Coastal 181, regardless of what your racing interests are, whether it be NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, dirt track racing, it has something for you, more than likely. So give it a check out. I just put it on the comments here. Just give it a plug. Yeah, if you're on the, like I said, if you get on to view the show here, just please comment if you can. That way I'll start talking more in depth rather than, here's a thought I have. Wait 2 minutes. Oh, here's another thought I have. If you're having any issues, message me. Everything seems good on my end, but that doesn't mean it's actually working. But, yep. Alright. See. Yep. Everything still seems to be good. So finally, 12 days later, like I said, wanted to start this on April 1st, and I actually did something on Audacity, and it worked, but I couldn't get it to upload anywhere. So hence why we're doing this. It seems to be working. I'll talk to you more about this. My plan with YouTube is, it's what I'm going to do to... Lost my train of thought here. That's how I'll be releasing the videos and everything. I think most of the time I'll be just... Whenever I'm talking, you'll just see like a picture of, like, say, the logo or something, maybe like the episode title. Rather than actually seeing me, because it does seem I can do a lot better when I'm not watching myself like I am now. We'll see how that goes once I start talking more in depth, but I just seem to do better, more on the radio side, so to speak, rather than being on TV side of it, to give it an analogy. So, all right, let's see what else. see if I can find anything else. Alright. Okay. Oh, and by the way, there's also road work being done in front of my house, so that shouldn't be too loud. But you know, when spring arrives, you usually get your construction, which on the street I live in wasn't until last year or the year before, because I'll have my car 4 years in June. And yeah, for the first 3 years, I couldn't drive it down the bottom of my street. So I literally just had to go past my house and turn around. And let me just say, I love doing that so much with a car that is so low to the ground. That's why I want to get an SUV. But that's a few years away, so and I have other issues to worry about. Okay. Alright. Well, let me see. It's 1:28 on my watch. So I might wait a few more minutes and I'll just get started. Um, Alright. Let's give us another minute and then I'll get started. Say in advance, sorry if this video's kind of choppy, it's just me getting used to it and, just trying some different things out, so we'll go from there. And like I said, just bear with me. Obviously, I know if I were to do 100 episodes of this, episode 1 is not going to be the greatest compared to like episodes 59, 77, 99. So I'll get better with it, and we'll just go from there. So please bear with me. This is not what you're going to get all the time. All right, so it's 1:30, and it's April 13th, so let's get this started officially. Welcome to the Racing is Life podcast in video format for today. It's part of the Rabbit Slinger media group. I need a writing utensil. But I just want to say, welcome. Thanks for listening, whether you're listening now while I'm live or once I get done with this stream. I appreciate it. And please feel free to share it however you please and just help me get more viewers. I'll talk more about that stuff at the end. But let's just get started. Today I'm just going to be talking about some basics of the show, podcast. This isn't fancy. I'm not going into really any topics. So this is just an introduction video. So take it as what it is. So like I said, this is the Racing is Life podcast, and you might be asking yourself, how'd you get this name, Zach? And once I tell you this, you're going to be like, Oh, yeah, we're not surprised. So I got it from a quote from a Steve McQueen movie, and it happened to be a racing movie. Steve McQueen starred in Le Mans, 1971. One of his scenes, he is quoted as saying, "Racing is life. Everything before or after is just waiting." And I think the quote is pretty cool. It was one of my favorite quotes. And when it comes to this, doing different podcasts for here, I can implement a few Steve McQueen quotes for movies. So, but yeah, this one just worked. And racing, whether it be a race car driver or a fan, in this case, whether it's Michael Delaney's character, Steve McQueen, well, Steve McQueen's character, Michael Delaney, or myself, racing does play a big part of our lives. And yeah, it just, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a couple years now, and I finally decided to start to do it. And I just figured, what all can I do? And every week I want to try and have a racing podcast, probably in the middle of the week. I'm doing this on Tuesday, but I'm typically off from work on Wednesday and Thursday. So anytime middle in the week, probably Wednesday. Thursday's more than likely going to be the day. But don't be surprised if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll try and keep it as consistent as possible, but when it comes to the Racing is Life podcast, it's going to be middle of the week. So I'll go into some topics that I'm planning on doing in a little bit, but you might ask yourself, Zach, how'd you get into racing? And I'll give you the honest answer. I don't know, because I've been into it practically, it seems like my entire life. I was so, I have memories of racing since I was 1, and then predominantly since I was 3, so 1995 on, and that has obviously progressed as I've gotten older. Obviously, as a kid, you're very active. You might not always be wanting to stay in front of your TV and watch, in my case, the NASCAR race every week. But as you grow older, your attention span, increases towards that, and that's, in my case, that's what it was. So, like, I have memories of NASCAR from the 1990s. And then I would say come 2001, 2002 is where I've been, pretty active and paying attention to it. I can keep a conversation on just about anything. So, yeah, I don't know how it got started because I was so young. I'm guessing it's something I inherited. My dad raced dirt bikes, when, I forget when, but when he was, I'm guessing in his teens, early 20s, I don't know, but that's how I got it. And he was always watching NASCAR, so naturally I think I gravitate towards that. So that's how we get that. What are some... And like I said, here's where I'm not going to be as great on this, but like I said, I did better on the Audacity. But yeah, like I said, I started NASCAR, getting into it in the 90s, so 1990s, what do you got going on? Well, Jeff Gordon, who was my favorite driver, that's a story for another time. He was, his rookie season was 1993. So naturally, I'm getting into NASCAR a few years later, and he's the up-and-coming, starting to become the future Hall of Famer that he would be. So Jeff Gordon was my favorite driver growing up, and these last few years since he has retired have been kind of weird because, just in my opinion, when you grow up with somebody as your favorite driver from like a very young age, it's kind of hard to find somebody else. It's a weird feeling. But I have a few drivers I do like now. And another driver I liked growing up who had a shorter career than Jeff Gordon. But growing up, I definitely liked watching what is today the Xfinity Series was the Busch Series for me growing up. The AAA of NASCAR, so to speak. And one of my favorite drivers growing up from the 90s to the early to mid 2000s was Buckshot Jones. Got a little bit of a NASCAR career, and I just think I like the 000 car, and for a different name, Buckshot. Need I say more? So, and he had some pretty cool paint schemes, and probably one of the reasons I eat Cheez-Its so much. But, so that's that. I'm predominantly have been a NASCAR fan. I do have other, I do pay attention to other series, which I will talk about on the podcast. That includes World of Outlaws, IndyCar, Formula One. I mentioned earlier about Coastal 181, which is a cool bookstore. By the way, there's defunct series such as the American Speed Association. Might do some episodes on things that no longer series, tracks, whatever that no longer exist. And then I live in Western Pennsylvania, which many of you know because you also live in Western Pennsylvania. So I want to talk about, local racing history as well. So that can include on the asphalt track side of things, Jennerstown, Motordrome. And then the dirt track side, we can talk all about Lernerville. Then there's other tracks. Port Royal, maybe. I know that's stretching a few hours away, but that's for another episode. And then there's other tracks that don't exist anymore, including probably the one that would be considered my home track if I was, drivers are always saying, oh, this is my hometown track. That is, my hometown track would be Challenger Raceway. I've seen different, looking it up, trying to get some information on it. I've seen it located as in different towns, but it's basically between, it's close to Clarksburg, and it's between Indiana and Salzburg, I'd say. And like Clarksburg is pretty close to it as well. And Clarksburg is like the in between Salzburg and Indiana. So yeah, I want to do something on that because, like I said, that is probably the closest oval track to me. There's I can't think of the name of it right now. There's the drag strip in New Alec that is like 12 minutes down the road for me, yet I've never been to it. Oh, and I guess I can include maybe some talk about the NHRA. I don't know. But yeah, I just want to, talk about racing. I enjoy it. As, I get on further episodes, I think I'll be able to showcase, how much I enjoy racing. And just go from there. Like I said, this isn't going to be the best episode, obviously. It's just an introduction video. But, yeah, I just wanted to do something, wet my feet, so to speak, and go up from here. So, let me think. What else can I talk about? Yeah, so let me just think of some topics I'll talk about, and I'll talk about the Racing is Life podcast first, and then I will talk about the Rabbit Slinger Media just as a whole, because I'm going to be doing some side projects as well. But let me just focus on the Racing is Life aspect of it. So right now, my first episode I'm hoping to have next week, like I said, I'm hoping for Thursday, is, it's going to be talking about, sorry, I'm just going from thing to thing, yeah, sorry about that. I noticed I got my first comment, so hi, Bob. Yeah, Latrobe's pretty close too. That's probably actually pretty close to distance-wise to where Challenger is, but I believe Challenger's in Indiana County, so I'm from Indiana County, so Challenger will be a little bit above Latrobe, but my plan is, actually, I've never been to Latrobe. Latrobe Speedway. But May 1st, if the weather holds up, hopefully I'm not cursing myself, knock on wood, they have Renegades of Dirt Modifieds on May 1st, which is a Saturday. And I'll be going there because I'm a big modified fan as far as your local racing series. So that's the first race I'm attending this year. But I digress. Sorry. But yeah, my first episode is going to be on the 1992 Winston Cup season. There are just so many stories that you can talk about when it comes to the 1992 season for Winston Cup. 1992, well known for a great championship battle coming into Atlanta. So that's obviously going to be talked about, and that has been addressed before. But it's an interesting topic to me because I was born in 1992, so in 1992, it just seemed for sports interest for me, it was a really good year because prior to the mid 2010s, last time the Pirates had a winning season was 1992. And no, I don't remember anything about it. But going back to 1992, I don't want to give too many details away, but I'm just reading, and there's so much I can talk about, and I'm going to be talking about a lot. I'm going to be talking about the championship drivers who were in contention for the championship at Atlanta. 1992 is also known as the last season for Richard Petty for a career that started in the 1950s in NASCAR and went to 1992. So that's impressive. I believe he had 35 seasons. And so that's his last season. And then it's also a start of Jeff Gordon's career. So, and there's a few other things I can talk about. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm hoping Thursday next week I'll have everything ready, and I'm still tinkering with a few things. So we'll go from there. But that's the first episode, the 1992 Winston Cup season. I'll try and keep everyone in the loop for some extra things posted on the group and about various things in regards to that topic. So we'll go from there. What do we got going on? Okay. But yeah, let me think of some of the other things I was thinking about. None of this is set in stone. 1992 set in stone. Growing up, one of the topics I want to do is the local asphalt tracks for me were Jennerstown Speedway and Motordrome Speedway. And growing up in the late 90s, early to mid 2000s, they were NASCAR sanctioned tracks. So on occasion, some of the NASCAR regional series would come to Jennerstown and Motordrome. So I want to talk about that. Motordrome's closed now, and Jennerstown has been reopened for a handful of years. But I want to talk about, the various series that they brought to town, because it seems like Jennerstown is, climbing back up as far as prestige. But I do want to talk about how they brought various NASCAR series to town, and so that's going to be, I don't know if that's going to be episode number 2 as far as Racing is Life. I think that's going to require a little more work, but that's in the pipeline. Want to read more about the American Speed Association, and because that's a cool series I remember a little bit growing up, so that one's going to be one. One of my side projects I'm kind of working on. I don't know what I'm doing with it exactly. But let me see what I got here. Buying old NASCAR magazines from the late 80s and early 90s in regards to Rob Moroso, who was a up-and-coming NASCAR driver. I'll talk more on that later, but like I said, up and coming NASCAR driver. I have like a hypothesis of he was like the first major younger driver coming into NASCAR. So everyone knows Jeff Gordon kind of starting that, but I want to try and talk about Rob Moroso some. It's a story that, up and coming driver, but met a tragic end. And if you read more into it, it's not the greatest story. It's, like I said, very tragic at the end. And I know within, like, say, the racing community, just looking on YouTube, views are mixed on Rob Moroso. So, but it's a topic I want to talk about because I've did some work on, like, spreadsheet wise and everything, and it's going to be interesting once I finish that up and figure out what I want to do with that. So that can be on upcoming, and I think that's all that's in the pipeline right now. So if you have any ideas that you would like me to talk about, please feel free to comment on the chat here. However you want to reach me and be like, hey, I think this would be a cool topic. I'm not opposed to anything. Obviously I'll be better with some other topics than others, but yeah, that's what I want to go from. Yeah, I want you guys to feel involved as well, and you might come up with a good idea that I never thought of. So that's that. As far as the Racing is Life podcast aspect of it, now Rabbit Slinger Media. My plan is to have more than just a racing podcast. The racing podcast is going to be every week, but maybe every other week I might do like a separate topic right now, because I do have other interests. Like I said, predominantly racing, and then I can implement history into that as well, as far as racing history, and then just other history topics that I'm into as well, and like movies, TV. I like to watch movies a lot, so Racing is Life is going to be every week. And then every other week, as best as I can, I'm going to be doing other topics. So basically right now I have two series, so to speak, Racing is Life and everything else. So as far as the everything else, I plan on starting a bracket. I just missed March Madness, but I thought still a cool idea is to randomly create a bracket for the James Bond movies all the way up to Spectre, because we're still waiting for No Time to Die. Some of us very impatiently and just want to go see it. But I created a random bracket for the James Bond movies, and I'm just going to do like a tournament, for what's my favorite movie. And I'm doing it based on 4 categories. So the 4 categories are the villain, how good was the villain in the movie? The plot. Some plots are better than others. How the actor portraying James Bond did in the role. Obviously, all the Bond actors are known for a movie or two. So see how the actor portraying James Bond did in that respective film, and like the gadgets, special effects. So it's 4 categories. So with 4, you can have a tiebreaker. You could be tied 2-2. It's like, well, who moves on? Well, I have 3 categories, which I'm not telling. I'll keep them a secret until the end. Once I decide what the best movie is based on the bracket. So there's 3 categories. So those would be in case I need a tiebreaker. And looking at the first round of the bracket, I have A View to a Kill and Octopussy, which are the last 2 Roger Moore films, and 2 films which I'm not really a fan of. So it's like, great, why couldn't this random bracket put them in against a better film? Because I can say, okay, yep, that film has this. Okay, moving on. No, I got to figure out between 2 films I'm not a big fan of, which one to move on. And then, also in the first round, you have GoldenEye, which is Pierce Brosnan's first Bond film. And then you have Doctor No, the first film in the series, and hence Sean Connery's first movie. And both of those movies, I think, are decent movies. I don't know how far along they'll go, but, and like I said, it was just random, but it's like, looking at these, it's like, I didn't have any other problems with how the bracket was generated, minus those two, because you gave me two horrible films together and two decent ones. So, yeah, as far as the first episode for that, I'm hoping for maybe next weekend, next Saturday, I'm hoping, potentially. And the first episode for the James Bond tournament would just be the first round matchups. So, I forget how many there are, probably like 8 or 10. And then, so I'll talk about, who wins. And then at the end, I'll give you, hey, next episode is going to be, I Know You Only Live Twice is number 1 seed. So it will be going up against either Dr. No or GoldenEye. So, and I'll just give you a brief recap of what's going to be happening round 2, or what's going to be happening as far as matchups in round 2. So that's that. I do also want to talk about my history senior thesis eventually. I don't know when that's going to be. I came up with the James Bond bracket, and that's definitely a cooler idea. I enjoy my senior thesis. Obviously, I wrote 30 to 35 pages on it. So, yeah, you have to enjoy something if you're going to be writing that much for it. But, it deals with the United States Senate and intelligence oversight, like as far as FBI, CIA matters. It is kind of dry, I will admit that. You can put some things from there into today, correlate some things, but the whole idea of like intelligence in regards to like say FBI, CIA, DIA, it can be very boring to somebody who's not into it. But like I said, I like talking about it, and I want to try and talk about that sometime in the future. So that's another potential issue, and yeah, that's that. So that's all I have in the pipeline for now. And we are closing up on 2:00. So I'm gonna wrap this up here shortly. So with that, I have a Facebook group that I'll attach a link to. I don't think I put it on here initially, but please feel free to join the Facebook group and get in contact with me if you have any ideas. Subscribe to my YouTube channel on here. I would really appreciate that. That's going to help me in the long run. And yeah, however you want to share this video, please feel free to. Viewers, I'll take whatever viewers I can get. So I appreciate this. I'm sure some of you are very happy. I finally got this done after saying about 3 or 4 times, I'm going to do this day. But hey, I finally got it done, so I'm happy. Like I said, this isn't going to be my best video. As far as to relate it to a James Bond movie, it's probably A View to a Kill. But, yeah, I know this isn't going to be the easiest watch, but please bear with me. I will get better with time. And, yeah, I'm just trying some things out, so just bear with me. And that's that. Thanks for watching, whether you're watching now or in the future. Please feel free to give your thoughts. Have a good day, and I'll keep you updated on the status of the channel.